Jinx, The Wizard's Apprentice by Blackwood. The cover of this book, the title of this book, I wasn't expecting much. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't expecting it to be bad, but I wasn't expecting it to be particularly special either. I mean that tales featuring young would-be wizards and covers depicting lost orphans wandering through the forest are stacked at least 6 to a shelf in your average book emporium. But upon starting the story, there was a little spark that interested me, which grew, which refused to be quashed, and upon finishing the book I was sitting there perplexed that I didn't also have the second. It did it so slowly that at first I didn't notice, but before too long it had got its claws into me and refused to let me go. It had such whimsy, such subtle plot lines, such uniqueness that it really did stand out in its entirety. Jinx, like every other child in the Urworld, knows never to step off the path. And yet one day his stepfather, in a desperate attempt to get rid of him, forces him deep into the forest. Unfortunately, his attempt to abandon the boy somewhat backfires when it turns out that even he can't remember the way back to safety. Just when it looks like both of them may be lost forever, they encounter a wizard called Simon. Simon takes Jinx to live with him among his multitude of stray cats, and after many days, Jinx must finally concede that Simon probably isn't going to eat him. In his new home, Jinx encounters all kinds of magic. Witches that travel by churn, a mirror that allows him to spy out over the entire forest, and a magic of his very own, that the colours and shapes he sees around people aren't actually seen by everyone. Life with Simon seems to be relatively good. That is, until Simon casts a spell upon Jinx the boy cannot forgive. A spell that steals away his particular type of magic. Feeling blind without his ability to see people's moods and minds, Jinx joins with Revin, a boy fleeing a far-off country, and Elfwin, a witch's granddaughter, both of whom have their own spells to contend with, and together they seek the Bone Master, a wizard whose ghastly tales may not be as exaggerated as Simon's are. The three must survive the dangers of the forest, as well as the dangers of each other, and hope that their final destination leads to more than just their deaths. There were a few things that eventually sold me on this story. Firstly, it had a brilliant mixture of what was amazingly whimsical, yet also quite gruesome, just like's found in your proper fairy tale. Jinx isn't protected just because he's a child. Throughout the story, we're constantly reminded that there's real danger here. I mean, from the outset, his supposed saviour kind of allows his stepdad to be eaten by trolls. Although Simon seems well-meaning in taking Jinx in, he can never be trusted 100%. His motives are never entirely clear. Yet all this falls alongside the full trappings of the fantastical. All the little details are there. So, although, as I predicted from the cover and the title, it is set amidst the familiar, amidst forests and wizards and trolls, the little facts, like ladders made of thigh bones and witches traversing the place in churns, really do give it that folktale-ish air. Part of the reason I was really struck by details like this was the fact that everything wasn't explained inside out. To me, this meant the magic was indeed magical. Yes, I like my magic to be internally consistent, and yes, a well-founded magic system can lead to some amazing plot twists. Yet, when presented in the manner Blackwood has here, the magic can be truly fantastical. It really can allow the protagonists to step outside the humdrum. You had throwaway examples like the bird charm Jinx is instructed to carry with him, but my favourite was the door Jinx eventually stumbles upon that allows passageway to another world. It really reminded me of the door with the twistable knob that Sophie encounters in Howl's Moving Castle. The whole book, in fact, I felt sang with that same whimsical wonder that Diana Wynne Jones was famous for. If you've been missing her story since she passed away, I would definitely recommend Jinx's Tale as one you can adventure into in the same style she used to allow. So guys, what do you think of The Sound of Jinx? Is it the kind of book you'd like to read? Or have my assurances not drawn you away from the idea that it's just the same old, same old? Tell me in the comments, we have good comment times us. Other than that, I shall see you in my next video. Bye guys.